Welcome to our podcast. Today we're diving into the journey from discovering consumer needs to building brand loyalty, especially in the Indian market context.
That's a fascinating topic. The Indian market is so diverse. Understanding what consumers really need must be quite a challenge for brands.
Absolutely, and it goes way beyond just offering a product. Brands really need to dig deep to identify those unspoken needs consumers might not even realize themselves.
Right? And I think a lot of companies just assume what people want instead of actually listening. In India, with such varied demographics, that approach can really backfire.
Exactly. For instance, the way urban and rural consumers perceive value can be completely different. A one-size-fits-all strategy just doesn't work.
I remember reading about how some brands conduct on-ground research, actually visiting homes, talking to families, understanding daily routines. That's where true insights come from.
Yes, and sometimes those insights are surprising, like a shampoo brand realizing that people in certain regions prefer sachets over bottles because of affordability and convenience.
That's a classic example. It shows how important it is to adapt the offering, not just the marketing, to local needs.
And once a brand gets that right, the next step is to create an emotional connection. That's where brand loyalty starts to build.
Emotional connection is key. People don't just buy products, they buy stories, experiences, and sometimes even values.
Absolutely. Think about how some brands align themselves with social causes or local festivals in India. It's a way to resonate with people's values.
I find it interesting how some brands use nostalgia, like ads that remind people of their childhood or family traditions.
That's so true. Nostalgia is powerful, especially in a culture where family and tradition hold such value.
But it's a delicate balance. If a brand leans too heavily on emotion and ignores product quality, loyalty can fade quickly.
Definitely. Consistency is crucial. If the product doesn't deliver, even the best story can't save the brand.
Speaking of consistency, do you think digital transformation has made it easier or harder for brands to maintain loyalty?
Good question. Digital tools help brands engage directly with consumers, but they also make it easier for people to switch brands if they're dissatisfied.
So the stakes are higher. One bad review or poor customer experience can go viral and damage loyalty overnight.
Exactly. That's why brands need to be more transparent and responsive than ever.
I've noticed a trend where brands use social media to handle complaints publicly. Sometimes they turn dissatisfied customers into loyal advocates just by responding quickly.
That's a great point. Publicly addressing issues shows accountability. It humanizes the brand.
But it also means brands can't hide behind big advertising budgets anymore. The real experience matters.
True. Authenticity is the new currency of loyalty. People can spot insincerity from a mile away.
Do you think Indian consumers expect more authenticity than before?
I think so. With greater access to information, people are more aware and less forgiving of empty promises.
It's also interesting how word of mouth still plays such a huge role in India despite all the new tech.
Yes, recommendations from friends or family often outweigh online ads. Trust is built locally.
That's why localized campaigns work so well. Brands that understand the nuances of each region can build deeper trust.
And it goes beyond language. Local customs, festivals, even weather patterns can influence what consumers need.
Like how certain foods or drinks are marketed differently in summer and winter, depending on the region.
Exactly. Or how beauty brands adapt their products for different skin types and climates.
It's almost like brands need to be cultural anthropologists.
That's a great way to put it. The best brands study and respect the culture they're serving.
But I wonder, with so much diversity, how do brands avoid spreading themselves too thin?
It's a challenge. Some focus on a few core markets and really go deep, while others try modular approaches, adapting only certain elements.
Modular approaches sound efficient, but do they risk feeling too generic?
Sometimes. That's why local teams and partnerships can make a big difference. They bring insider knowledge.
Do you have an example of a brand that got it right in India?
Sure, think of how some beverage brands launched smaller pack sizes to cater to affordability and even introduced flavors inspired by local fruits.
That's clever. It shows respect for local tastes and budgets.
And it's not just about the product. Distribution matters too. Reaching remote areas is a huge part of success in India.
Logistics is a beast, isn't it? India's infrastructure can be tricky, but brands that manage it well earn massive loyalty.
Absolutely, and sometimes the solution is as simple as partnering with local shops or using traditional delivery methods.
I remember stories of brands using bicycles or even boats to reach certain villages.
Those stories are legendary. It's all about meeting people where they are, literally and figuratively.
Do you think the future of brand loyalty in India will be more about technology or tradition?
I think it'll be a mix. Technology helps scale, but tradition builds trust. The magic happens when brands blend both.
That makes sense. You can use tech for convenience, but still honor the local customs in your messaging.
Exactly. And as India's economy grows, consumers will expect even more better products, better service, and more meaningful connections.
So the bar keeps rising. Brands have to keep evolving or risk being left behind.
And loyalty isn't just about repeat purchases anymore, it's about advocacy, getting consumers to recommend and defend your brand.
That's a tall order, but the rewards are huge. Loyal customers are worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely, they're not just buyers, they're brand ambassadors.
But building that kind of loyalty takes time and patience. There are no shortcuts.
No shortcuts at all. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Brands need to invest in relationships, not just transactions.
I like that analogy. In the end, it's about being part of people's lives, not just their shopping carts.
Well said. And the brands that get this right will thrive in the ever-changing Indian market.
Before we wrap up, what's one lesson you think brands everywhere could learn from the Indian market?
I'd say listen first, act second. Deep understanding leads to real loyalty.
Great advice. For me, it's about embracing diversity, seeing it as an opportunity, not a challenge.
That's a powerful takeaway. The Indian market teaches us that the most loyal customers are those who feel truly seen and heard.
Exactly. So whether you're a big multinational or a local startup, never underestimate the power of listening and adapting.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this discussion sparked some ideas on building brand loyalty from the ground up.
And maybe inspired a few brands to get out there and really meet their customers on the ground in real life.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, brand loyalty starts with understanding.
See you soon. And subscribe to the YouTube channel Decode with Knighton for more insights. But there is no hurry. You have enough time to do that later. Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Goodbye and take care of yourself.